What's up? How y'all doing? So I'm going to show you my books, the books that I read in 2024. Yeah, they're not that much. So I read Twisted Love by Anna Huang. It's a very erotic book, and it's written 18 plus. So it's a very erotic book. So I wouldn't recommend for a child, or maybe somebody below 18. So it's a 4 edition book. It's Twisted Love, Twisted Hey. It's a love game, something like that. I also read Girl in Pieces by Catherine. It's a novel about a girl in her teenage years who has gone through a tremendous downfall, losing her parents. Also, she was raped. She has a very weird life, but in the end she got it figured out. And yeah, you can spot the girls who have it easy, and then there is me. So it's a very nice book. I highly recommend it. It's Girl in Pieces by Catherine. I also read round of applause to this book. I was in love with this book from the moment I saw it on Instagram. I was like, I need this book, and my book plug hooked me up with it. So, Power Moves by Sarah Jakes Robert. It's a very nice book. It's a Christian book. So, if you're a Christian and you need to read a book, you are actually looking for a book to read, you should read this book. You should read it. Ignite your confidence and become a force. The power that we have, we can actually transform it to be a better thing. We actually degrade ourselves thinking that we are powerless, but we got power in us. You need to read this book. Reminders of Him by Corinne Hoover. Okay, this book, it was about Scotty and how a girl who fell in love with a guy, and they got a child, and then the guy died in a road accident, and now the girl got to prison, and now she's out and she has to see her daughter, but the parents of the guy are really not down for that, because they think that the lady killed the guy. So it's hard for her to tell them that she was not involved. She is still fighting from that day, how she got to that accident, and how she was complicatedly, I don't know how, but in the end she got to see her child, and she fell in love with the guy's friend. It's kind of complicated, but it's a very nice book. So another Colin Hoover. It ends with us. This is about Atlas. It's about Riley. It's about Elsa. Yeah, it's a very nice book because it's how we end. What is it called? How we end domestic violence? Because the first time Riley did it, he was like, "I'm sorry, it was an accident." The second time, he was, "I'm sorry, it never happened again." And when she got pregnant, she was like, "I cannot do this anymore. I have to raise my child from away from that environment." So she had to make the decision, not because of her alone, but still just because she was having a child in the picture. So it ends with us. And now it starts with us again. Colin Hoover. It was about it's an edition. So it's about Riley and Riley settling for co-parenting, and they have to move on with life, and how Lily got to have a life now with a guy named Atlas. So yeah, you should read it. I'm done for that book again. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. The power that we have in us, we really degrade ourselves that much. We self-sabotage ourselves from the word go. Let me read you something. The real truth is that you can accomplish more at 90 than you did at 60, because each day you're growing in wisdom and understanding of life and the universe through your new studies and interest. Yeah, so if you are down to reading a book that is going to motivate you and put you in a good straight mentality, because that is what we want. Mhm. Let me read you something. There is no block to your happiness. External things are not these they are this effect nor cause. You are take your cue from the only creative principle within you. Your thought is cause, and a new cause produces new effect. Choose happiness. You need to read this book, y'all. You need to read it. And now, the elephant in the room. I was in love with this book from the word go. The Mountain Is You. Actually, I saw it in a YouTube video by Michaela Maggs. She's an influencer. She's young. So I saw it and I was like, damn, I need to get that book. And I got it. And it was the best. It is written by Brianna West. And I had to get another book by Brianna West, the 100 Essays of Something. I'm going to read it in 2025. I guess I'll be starting with it. So, the ultimate seeker guide for those brave enough to face their truth, north, and take their power back, transforming self-sabotage into self-mastery. I was in love with this book, and I can read it over and over again. Trauma is not in your head; it is in your body. Okay, similarly, when our heart are broken, our emotion tighten, so we don't love again. So, if you are down to reading, I highly recommend you start with this book. I was in love with it. So, those are the books that I got to read. This was the last book I read in 2024, Love on the Lifts. It was about teenage group that went to the mountain, and they had the best time of their lives because they went to see club, and everybody out of that group, they came back home when they have finally fallen in love with whoever they wanted. So it's a really, really nice book. This book I was given by Michael. He's my friend, and it's about forgiving and forgetting. But let me read you something. How can you forgive a friend's betrayal, a parent's limitation, and faithful lover? Forgiving is love's toughest work and love's biggest risk, but you have the power to free others and by yourself from understanding the guilt and the pain. In Forgive and Forget, Lewis B shows us how to move from hurting and hating to healing and reconciliation. With the lessons of forgiveness, you can establish healthier relationship, reclaim the happiness that should be yours, and achieve long-lasting peace of mind. You should read this book. I also read this a series of unfortunate events. This is about how a child, they were in the beach and their family house got burned, and their parents was also in that house and they died. I never got to understand this book actually. So that is the edition of the books that I read in 2024. I also read 13 Reasons Why because it's a movie, it's a series that I've watched, and I was like, damn, I need to read the book. And it's with my friend Regina. I also read You Are a Badass by Jane Sinero. And I highly recommend those books. So this is the edition of my library. So yeah, I'm proud of myself because I turned reading to a habit, and I'm really proud of myself that I got to read. There may not be many, but I got to read these books, and I'm really grateful for that. So that is my edition.